Okay, so we're doing the review for the Chapter 2 test, Part 1, and we're on question 3. So now it says to determine if the 3 points are collinear, and that means are the 3 points on the same line? So we have to check. So the first thing we must do, is we must check which order they are in. So I'm just going to kind of graph them, but very loosely. I'm going to say, okay, 0, -5, okay, -3, -8, 2, -3. Because when we do collinearity, what we have to do is we have to find, if we give them the labels A, B, C, we have to find the distance from A to B, the small one. We have to find the distance from B to C, the small one. And then we have to find the distance AC, the big one. Okay, and we have to add the little ones together to see if they equal the big one. So I have to go small, small equals big. But if I just randomly label them A, B, C, maybe they're not in order A, B, C. So here, if I go A, B, C, okay, let's check. This one's A, this one's next, this one's next. So A is the -3, see? So we can't use them in this order, A, B, C. We have to use them in this order. First, second, third, after we graph them. And that's the part that people forget the most. They just go A, B, C, which we cannot do. So first, we have to do this. Now we find the distance between the small parts, and then we find the distance between the big parts. So let's find the distance between A, B. So what is the distance? We have to use the distance formula, which is subtract the x's, subtract the y's, square them, and take the square root. So let's write that down, the square. So subtract my x's, subtract my y's, square them, add them. Okay? So now we're going to, don't look at these, look at these. So I'm going to do AB. So I'm going to subtract my x's, -3, subtract 0. Now I'm going to subtract my y's, -8, subtract, -5. Be careful, there's lots of negatives there. And then take the square root. Let's throw it all in the calculator at once. -3, subtract 0, squared, plus -8, subtract, -5, bracket squared. So that's equal to 3√2. Now I need the other small one, B to C. So let's subtract the x's, 0 subtract 2, and then the y's, -5 subtract 3. Careful, there's lots of negatives. Now we're going to do this again. The square root of 0 subtract 2 squared plus -5 subtract -3 equals 2√2. Okay, so that's equal to 2√2. Now I have to find the big one, A to C. So that's small. Now we find the big one. Okay, so that's AC. So -3 subtract 2. -8 subtract -3. Put that in my calculator. Oops, I did something wrong. -3, oh, I forgot my brackets. Whoa. Okay, so now I have to check if my small plus, let's write that out, my small piece plus my small piece is equal to the big piece. So small plus small, is that equal to big? Okay, so 3 root 2 plus 2 root 2, is that equal to root 146? Let's check. What's 146? Root 446? Approximately 12.083. Approximately. So now let's add these two. 3 root 2 plus 2 root 2, 7.07. Guys, I did a little mistake. See the negatives here? It should be negative 8 subtract negative 3. So negative 8 subtract a negative 3. So even the teacher loses negatives. Ugh, too many negatives. You have to be careful. So negative 3 subtract 2 squared plus negative 8 subtract negative 3, 5 root 2. Okay. So 5 root 2. So this, the big one, is 5 root 2. And 5 root 2 is equal to 7.07. So they're the same. So if they're the same, then yes, they are all on the same line. So yes, they are collinear. If you end up that they're not the same, like we had before when I had a mistake, then you would say, no, they're not all on the same line. They are not collinear. So look at me. See, I lost a negative here. So be very careful. Even teachers lose negatives sometimes.